Hey there, future medical device guru. Feeling those pre-interview jitters? Totally normal. You're about to step into a world where, innovation meets life-saving tech.
It's a field where your passion for healthcare technology meets the very real need for skilled professionals.
And we're here to help you ace that interview and land your dream job as a medical device engineer.
We're talking about a projected 6% growth in the field over the next decade.
6% growth. That's wild.
Driven by an aging population and constant advancements in medical technology, so let's make sure you shine and show them what you've got.
Okay, let's dive right into some common interview questions, shall we? I've got our copy of Medical Device Engineer Interview Secrets right here. Let's crack this code together. Question number 1. Can you walk me through your experience with medical device design? I feel like this is such a classic opener, right?
It is, and it's your chance to make a strong first impression. What's fascinating here is that they're not just looking for a list of projects from your resume. They want to see your thought process, your problem-solving skills, and how you apply your technical expertise to real-world medical challenges.
So it's not just about what you've done, but how you did it.
Exactly. Instead of just saying, I'm proficient in CAD software, talk about a project where you used that software to design a specific component. Maybe you had to factor in biomechanics or material constraints. Imagine yourself telling a story about your design process, highlighting the challenges you overcame and the solutions you developed.
Show, don't tell. I like it. Okay, I'm taking notes. What about this one? How do you approach risk management in medical device design? This feels like it goes beyond just knowing the rules.
Yeah, absolutely. This is about patient safety, first and foremost. You need to demonstrate a deep understanding of FDA guidelines, of course. But what's even more important is showing that you think critically about potential risks and are proactive in mitigating them. Did you identify a design flaw that could have impacted patient safety? How did you address it? Did you propose alternative materials or testing protocols?
Sounds like they're looking for someone who's not just following the rules, but actively thinking ahead and anticipating problems. And this is where RoleCatcher can really come in handy, right? I mean, their AI can actually analyze your answers and help you tailor them to a specific job description.
It's pretty incredible. Think of it like this. You upload your resume and the job description to RoleCatcher, and if AI goes to work identifying keywords and skills that are important to the employer. Then, when you practice answering questions like this one about risk management, RoleCatcher can give you feedback on whether you're hitting those key points and demonstrating the level of understanding they're looking for.
That's amazing. It's like having a personal interview coach in your pocket.
Yeah.
Okay, what's next on our list of killer questions?
All right. Here's one that often trips people up. Can you discuss your experience working with cross-functional teams in medical device design? We know teamwork is essential in this field, but how do you go beyond the buzzwords and give a truly compelling answer?
Right, because everyone claims to be a team player these days.
Exactly. What's important here is to showcase your ability to collaborate effectively with people from different backgrounds and perspectives. Think of a specific instance where you had to work with, say, regulatory affairs or quality assurance. What were the challenges and how did you overcome them as a team? Maybe you had to balance engineering constraints with regulatory requirements or find a compromise between design aesthetics and manufacturing feasibility.
So it's about highlighting those moments where different perspectives might have clashed, but ultimately led to a better outcome because of effective teamwork.
Precisely. It shows you can navigate those complexities, which is crucial in the collaborative world of medical device development. And again, RoleCatcher can really help you fine-tune your answer here.
Oh, right. Because it analyzes your language and can even pick up on subtle cues in your delivery.
Exactly. It might suggest using stronger verbs to describe your actions or provide feedback on your tone of voice to ensure you're coming across as confident and collaborative. It's like having a personal brand consultant, helping you present your best self.
Okay, that's seriously impressive. I'm starting to see how RoleCatcher can be a game changer for anyone prepping for these interviews. All right, let's tackle another question. This one feels pretty straightforward. What is your experience with medical device validation and verification?
They might seem interchangeable, but there's a distinct difference. Validation ensures you're building the right thing, meeting user needs, and the intended medical purpose. Verification ensures you're building the thing right, meeting design specs, and functioning as intended.
So validation is about making sure the device does what it's supposed to do in the real world, while verification is about making sure it's built correctly according to the design.
You got it. When you answer this question, think about your experience with different methods. Have you worked with prototypes, conducted design reviews, Analyze user testing data. Be specific and showcase your knowledge of the process.
Okay, so let's say I'm prepping for an interview at a company that specializes in, say, implantable cardiac devices. How could I use RoleCatcher to really nail this question?
That's a great question. Let's say this company emphasizes their rigorous testing procedures and adherence to FDA regulations in their job description. RoleCatcher will pick up on these keywords and suggest you highlight your experience with specific validation and verification methods that are relevant to cardiac devices. It might even prompt you to mention specific FDA guidelines or industry standards that you're familiar with.
Wow, that's incredibly helpful. It's like RoleCatcher's reading the interviewer's mind. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground, but I'm eager to dive into more questions. Let's take a quick pause and come back to tackle some more challenging scenarios in our next segment.
All right, picking up where we left off, let's talk about the software side of things.
Okay.
With so many medical devices relying on complex software these days, you can bet there will be questions about your experience in this area.
Makes sense. It's like everything is a computer now, even the things inside us. What are some specific things I should be prepared to discuss when it comes to medical device software development?
Great question. It's not just about knowing how to code, though that's obviously important. You'll want to highlight any experience you have with programming languages commonly used in medical devices, like C++ or Python. But more importantly, emphasize your understanding of the regulatory requirements surrounding medical device software.
Ah, yes, the FDA. We talked about them earlier with risk management. They're pretty strict, right?
Yeah. For good reason. We're talking about people's health here. Be prepared to discuss things like software validation, risk management and software development, and any experience you have with cybersecurity measures.
So it's about writing clean, effective code, but also understanding the weight of that code in a medical context and how to keep it secure.
Precisely. And this is another area where RoleCatcher can give you a leg up. Let's say the job description mentions experience with cybersecurity protocols for implantable devices. RoleCatcher's AI can analyze that information and suggest relevant projects or experiences from your past that you could highlight in your answer. It can even help you brush up on specific cybersecurity frameworks or regulations that might be applicable to that particular role.
Wow, it's like having a personal research assistant. RoleCatcher's really blowing my mind today. Okay, I'm adding highlight cybersecurity experience to my notes. What else you got?
Now, shifting gears a bit, let's talk about staying up to date in this ever-evolving field. Interviewers will want to know how you keep your knowledge current.
That's a great point. It seems like things are changing so rapidly, both in medical technology and regulations. What's your advice for showcasing that you're on top of things?
This is where you can really shine by highlighting your passion for continuous learning. Mention industry conferences or workshops you've attended, bonus points if you are a presenter or contributor. Do you subscribe to any medical device engineering journals or follow influential voices online? Let them know.
So being an active member of the professional community is key. It's not just about what you know, but how you stay curious and keep growing. Like it. Speaking of growth, I'm curious, in your experience, what are some of the most common challenges that medical device engineers face? Besides those nerve-wracking interviews.
That's a great question. One challenge is the need to constantly adapt to new technologies and regulations. What's cutting edge today might be outdated tomorrow, so a thirst for knowledge and a willingness to learn are essential. Another challenge is the collaborative nature of the work. You'll be interacting with people from various disciplines, each with their own priorities and communication styles. Being able to navigate those dynamics effectively is key to success.
It sounds like strong communication skills are just as important as technical expertise.
Absolutely. And this is something else that RoleCatcher can help you with. If a company is emphasizing teamwork and communication in their job description, RoleCatcher can analyze your previous experiences and suggest ways to highlight your collaboration skills. It might even recommend using specific stories or anecdotes that showcase your ability to communicate effectively with different stakeholders.
So it's about connecting the dots between your skills and what the employer is looking for. That makes total sense. Okay, back to our interview prep. We still have a few more question categories to cover. Ready for the home stretch?
Let's do it.
All right. This one feels pretty straightforward. Medical device manufacturing processes. What are the key things to keep in mind when answering a question about this?
It's about showing that you understand the entire life cycle of a medical device, from concept to creation. You don't need to be a manufacturing expert, but demonstrate your knowledge of different processes. Have you worked with CNC machining, injection molding, or sterilization techniques? Even a basic understanding of these processes shows you've thought beyond the design phase.
And I imagine this ties into the last question category, medical device material selection.
Absolutely. This is where you showcase your knowledge of biocompatibility, sterilization requirements, and the unique demands of the medical field. You'll want to be able to discuss different types of materials used in medical devices and the reasons behind those choices.
So it's not just about picking the cheapest or strongest material. It's about understanding the bigger picture of how that material will interact with the human body and medical environments.
Exactly. Let's say you're interviewing for a company that develops orthopedic implants. You could talk about your experience working with titanium alloys, highlighting their biocompatibility, strength-to-weight ratio, and resistance to wear and tear. Or if you're interviewing with a company that makes cardiovascular stents, you could discuss your knowledge of polymers and their ability to be formed into intricate shapes while remaining flexible and durable.
That makes perfect sense. It's all about tailoring your answers to the specific company and role you're interviewing for.
Exactly. And you know what can help you do that?
RoleCatcher.
You got it. By analyzing the job description and company profile, RoleCatcher can identify the specific materials and manufacturing processes that are most relevant to that particular role. It can then suggest ways to weave those keywords and examples into your answers, making you sound like a perfect fit.
I'm telling you, this RoleCatcher is like having a secret weapon in your back pocket. Okay, we've covered a ton of ground today, from risk management to software development to material selection. We've explored some of the most common and challenging questions you might encounter in a medical device engineer interview. But more importantly, we've talked about, how to approach these questions, not just what the right answers are.
Exactly, because there's no one-size-fits-all solution, right? It's about showcasing your unique skills and experiences and connecting them to the specific needs of the company and the role.
And that's where RoleCatcher comes in, right? It's like having a personalized roadmap for each interview, guiding you on what to highlight and how to position your qualifications for maximum impact.
Precisely. It takes the guesswork out of interview prep, giving you the confidence to walk into that room and shine.
I love that. Okay, as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of medical device engineer interviews, what's the one piece of advice you would give to anyone feeling overwhelmed by the process?
Remember why you're here. This isn't just about landing a job. It's about contributing to a field that has the power to change and save lives. Hold on to that passion, let it fuel your preparation, and trust that your skills and dedication will shine through.
That's such great advice. It's about aligning your passion with your purpose. And remember, you've got this. We've explored some tough questions today, but with the right preparation and a little help from our AI friend, RoleCatcher, you'll be well on your way to acing that interview and embarking on an incredible journey in the world of medical device engineering.
Absolutely. We're excited to see what you'll achieve.
That's it for today's deep dive, everyone. We hope you found it helpful and inspiring. Until next time, keep those brains engaged and those ambitions soaring.